What's good, you guys? You know who it is, man. It's your boy, Mr. Relentless Lex, and I'm back like I never left this mother. Yes, Sirski. All right, so you guys, man, Snoop Dogg and Dogg finally revealing that Biggie tried to join Tupac before dying, bro. I kind of I speculated this a long time ago, bro, because Biggie and Tupac, they used to be friends. They used to be friends. I think what happened allegedly was Tupac had supposed to have met Biggie in a studio in New York somewhere, and somebody ambushed Tupac. And he felt like Biggie know he did it, so he felt like it was a setup. Not knowing intentionally, like, if he really know for sure that Biggie did it, he just felt that way. I guess he assumed that not too many people knew he was headed up there to the studio to meet Biggie, to do a track. But they was friends, man. They say Tupac used to sleep on Biggie's couch one time and everything. So that's crazy. But Snoop Dogg says he knows for a fact, allegedly, I guess, that Tupac and Big was planning on joining before they both got killed. Let's get it spicy.
For most people, the part of history they know about Tupac and Biggie is entirely about how they were at each other's throat. But in the same history books, Pac and Biggie weren't just two artistes from opposite sides of town. They were also pretty close friends. I know how it sounds, and I know the fact that they're both no longer with us fuels your doubts. But the thing is that new details have now come up.
Hey, yo, matter of fact, back there, bro. R.I.P. to Tupac and Biggie. Jam Master Jay, Left Eye, Bar, Marley, Marvin Gaye, and Aaliyah. R.I.P. to some great legends.
On how the pair had been cooking their own exit plans under the table all along. That's right, enemies in the day to the people and low-key business partners in private. According to the new details, not only is it clear that they were both set up, it also seems like they had a lot hidden from the world. But those days are over now. I know with what you've heard, you probably want the entire story. So stay tuned till the end.
And so we had spent numerous times around each other prior to everything becoming what it ended up becoming.
From trusted friends to mortal enemies, at least that's exactly what the world has believed all these years. But the truth is that the story of Tupac Shakur and Notorious B.I.G.'s friendship goes way beyond East Coast versus West Coast beef. Tupac and Biggie first came across each other in Los Angeles back in 1993. Biggie, the Brooklyn-bred rapper, asked his friend to introduce him to Tupac, who then invited Biggie to a party at his house. That's where they shared a big freezer bag of the greenest vegetables I'd ever seen, according to Dan Smalls, an intern at Biggie's label at the time, also part of the group. During their first encounter, Tupac was already a huge star, selling platinum albums and starring in movies. Biggie, on the other hand, was at the start of his career, waiting for his big break. Tupac wanted to help his new friend with his career, and he led him into a circle.
Wanted to be in Thug Life, and Pac wanted him to be a part of Thug Life.
Even Tupac's longtime friend, Dy1ng, admitted, "We all thought he, Biggie, was a dope rapper." The pair seemed to have formed a brotherhood, as Tupac gifted a bottle of Hennessy to Biggie shortly after they started hanging out, and they had a seemingly strong friendship, to put it lightly. Biggie crashed on Tupac's couch when he came to California.
Okay, so I had it backwards. So Biggie crashed on Tupac's couch. Okay, I had it backwards. My bad, you guys.
And whenever Tupac was in New York, he picked Biggie up in a white limousine. In fact, sometime in 1993, the two of them freestyled back-to-back at a concert at Madison Square Garden. Even though he got to make a cameo at the concert, Biggie was still relatively unknown outside of Brooklyn. Tupac, on the other hand, was extremely popular at the time. Yet, he would always give devoted attention to Biggie, grooming him and allowing him to perform at his concerts.
Biggie, he was supposed to be a part of Thug Life, right?
Yeah, for sure. Again, we got an opportunity to meet Big. We went on tour and
Tupac said, "I trained that. He used to be under me like my lieutenant." Tupac also claimed to be the brains behind Biggie's style. "I used to tell the if you want to make your money, you have to rap for the do not rap for the." Tupac went on to say the will buy your records and the want what the want. Biggie took Tupac's advice. After his early aggressive track, party and bullshit songs like Big Papa from his debut album Ready to Die appealed more to the women. Soon as he buy that wine, I just creep up from behind and ask what your interests are. So you be with? But before Ready to Die came out, Biggie was worried that he missed his break. This also happened to be around the time Big met the person that changed the entire course of his life, Sean Puffy Combs. The duo first met in 1992 when Diddy arranged to meet with Biggie after seeing his feature in the Source magazine's unsigned hype column, according to details. While talking to Revolt about connecting with the fellow rapper, Diddy recalled, "The first time I met B.I.G., I brought him to a soul food restaurant called Sylvia's, uptown in Harlem. I remember him sitting down and he really didn't have anything to say. So you have this big guy who has this in-your-face rap attitude, but was quiet." He also didn't want to eat, with Diddy explaining, "I realized that's how big this moment was for him. This was really his dream. He couldn't even eat. He just wanted for this to really happen, and it happened. It was all a dream." After skipping Tupac's Thug Life label to sign with Diddy's Bad Boy Records, Biggie dropped his debut album, Ready to Die, in 1994. At the time, Puffy's label hadn't really taken off, and as you'd expect, Biggie was pretty worried about his project flopping, which is what brings us back to Pac.
He didn't want Big putting too much material out before he started putting his shit out, so.
You see, Biggie asked Tupac to take over as his manager, but Shakur's response was, "Nah, stay with Puff. He will make you a star." Little did they know Puff was up to no good, and that their friendship would soon come to an end. Shortly after all that passed, Tupac and Biggie had one of the biggest fallouts in the entertainment industry. And guess who was at the center of it all? None other than the one and only Diddy.
Keys. And Biggie came up to the room, man, and you know, he was hella cool, bro. I remember him being like real down to earth, you know.
Besides forcing Biggie to tweak his sound in a way that the rapper wasn't actually okay with, there are also rumors that the record executive might have also sexually assaulted Biggie. And no, I'm not talking about some random internet rant. These details actually came from an all-time OG of the rap world, DMX. He said,
And put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all their publishing and raped them. Like, damn.
while the actual origin of their beef is pretty debatable, Pac
That's
and
crazy.
B.I.G., but that didn't become official until when the Dear Mama MC released the Hit 'Em Up diss track in 1996, where he vehemently expressed his hate for the notorious B.I.G. As Biggie downplayed the situation, Tupac did the opposite. He continued to trash his fellow rapper. Not only did Tupac accuse Biggie of the shooting, but he claimed that Biggie also ripped off his style. If things couldn't get worse, Pac bragged about sleeping with Biggie's wife, Faith Evans. Understandably, Big's group took issue with the jabs and wanted to counter back. But according to Lil Cease, the juicy rapper impeded on their plans. At the very beginning, Big didn't rush in and make a diss track. He was like, nah. He told Fat Man Scoop during an Instagram live session. He told everybody, if you make a record, I'm not effing with you. Don't call me, don't F with me. If you respond to anything, you will be cut off. At the time, Tupac had been incarcerated, and during his sentence, he managed to strike a deal with Suge Knight, someone you could say became Puffy's arch nemesis shortly after.
Row. Tupac loved Death Row. Tupac loved me, I loved him. Tupac took Death Row to the next level.
Suge did more than just try to recruit Tupac. He offered him a place in his family, the most powerful family in hip-hop. In August 1995, Tupac was still in prison when Suge came to visit him again. Right after, Suge made his way to Madison Square Garden's Paramount Theater for the annual award show put on by The Source, a hip-hop magazine. During his acceptance speech, he threw a little shade at Sean Puffy Combs, the head of Biggie Smalls' label Bad Boy. Suge alluded to Puffy inserting himself into his performer's song, saying, "Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't have to worry about the executive producer
remember this.
trying to be all
Yesterday.
in the videos, all on the records, dancing, come to death row." Later that year, Pac's demise came when he was shot and killed at a Las Vegas intersection. After the rapper's passing, a lot of conspiracy theories began floating around, and one which asked why Tupac wasn't wearing a bulletproof vest as he usually did. While Pac's people believe that Biggie and his people might have had something to do with the murder, Biggie was actually sad about losing a friend. However, a more professional opinion has also surfaced, as according to Greg Kading, Puff had more than a little to do with Pac's passing. Kading spent 3 years working on the case, and he reckons that P. Diddy offered £1,822,000 to Crips gang member Dwayne Keith D. Davis. In return, he would kill Tupac and his manager, Marion Hugh Suge Knight. It's pretty confusing, but he says that Keith D got his nephew, Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, to do the shooting instead, but only managed to kill Tupac. He told the paper that he even managed to get a confession out of Keith D, but Poochie and Baby Lane were both dead by this point, and therefore couldn't be prosecuted. He added that the Keith D confession was useless at this point. The American law has agreements. They can tell us everything they know about their own involvement in a crime, but we cannot use their own incriminating statements against them. Meanwhile, Biggie was grieving a loss at this time. According to Faith Evans, Biggie's wife or husband was completely distraught by Pac's death. She explained, "I remember Big calling me and crying. I know for a fact he was in Jersey. He called me crying because he was in shock. I think it's fair to say that he was probably afraid, given everything that was going on at the time, all the hype that was put in this so-called beef that he really didn't have in his heart against anyone," she stated. On March 9, 1997, less than a year after Tupac was killed, Biggie was also murdered in a drive-by shooting in LA. Just like Pac, Biggie's death had been a mystery clouded by conspiracy theories. Many people believe this was the end of hip-hop. Unsurprisingly, many fans have also their own theory about what actually went down with the pair, and they may be onto something. One user wrote, "They say Biggie's murder was revenge for Tupac's, but technically, Tupac's murder was the result of an incident that had nothing to do with the death row bad boy beef. I mean, I get it that it's just a theory, but what if? Well, only time will probably reveal what truly happened behind the curtains." Anyway, that's it for this video. Goodbye.
Bro, I can't say either one got killed because of the East Coast, West Coast beef. I want to say rest in peace to both of those guys, man. They was kings, they legends, dopest MCs I ever heard before in my life, bro. Pac and Biggie. A lot of times people say, who you think got the best bars, Pac or Biggie? I'm going to go with they on the same level, bro. I like Pac songs. I like Biggie songs. I just don't choose one over the other, bro. They both was kings. They both was legends. They make good music. I really believe those two was trying to get together, bro. I think Pac was gonna lead Death Row, Biggie was gonna lead Bad Boy, and they knew that. The higher ups knew that, and had that would have happened, music would have been sown by them two, bro. So they couldn't let that happen, bro. And then they say the guys that killed Tupac, they got killed, so they couldn't use that. Bro, and they say allegedly Puffy had Pac killed by 1.8 something million. Wowzers, boy, that was deep. And the guy that was doing the case, right, the Biggie case, or the Tupac case, it took him 3 years. And I believe something happened to him. I think he passed away or something, I think. But this is crazy, man. And the killings are still going on right now today in the black community, in the hip-hop culture, bro. It's like it's a thing now. They doing it now and mocking the dead people, bro. They're promoting the death. So when this world comes to a head, bro, in the Bible, like God said, every knee shall bow and every tree shall bend. I just hope I get called that number, bro. I got to make it to heaven, bro.